Mother, man.
G'day guys, this is Mick coming from the Penal Colony down under, and you're listening to Myrtle Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! Warning! Trigger alert! Trigger alert! Warning! Trigger alert! Warning! Trigger alert! Warning!
Well, they've been warned, Chris.
Yes, they have. What the fuck's up, motherfuckers?
That's right. It's Tuesday, and we're throwing down a brand new Murder Metal Mayhem. We're here in Horns High Studios.
Thursday for y'all.
Horns High Podcast Network, episode 256 going down. I'm here in Horns High with Chris, as always, and Joey in the 419 in Toledo. What's up?
I'm up here. Fucking got blasted with a storm. Wasn't sure if fucking internet was going to work. I was fucking a little worried about it, but yeah, we're all good now. Though.
Yeah, but you got Jim Jones on one side and Kemper on the other, like a force field, man. You're totally protected.
Oh, Jesus.
We're like in a cocoon in here, so we're completely safe. But glad that that passed.
It's just windy as fuck here all goddamn day.
Yeah, it's been windy for sure. But what shirts we got on tonight, Chris? What are you doing over there?
Sexual atrocities, motherfucking Charlie Sheen snorting some cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. I know some of that cocaine.
And the Coors hat there.
Yeah, I got my Coors hat with my spikes in it. And hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's get high and fuck shit up.
Joey, what about you, man? You're showing off with that cool shirt.
Yep, I got the 419 shirt on tonight now. I feel like this is the second time that I was supposed to wear the Gape shirt because that's what I wanted to wear because we're doing the Tasmania. But it's in a suitcase full of other shirts that I need to go through and rearrange my wardrobe. But fucking, this is the second time, so.
And you've been fucking putting that wardrobe fucking, you've been shrinking it down as well. So anybody listening that doesn't know, you check Joey out. He's selling some badass shirts too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What's that hat you got on, though, Joey? Putrid?
The Putrid Pile, fucking with the blue logo, and went and saw some bands. I'll talk about it in fucking metal a little bit, but
cool.
Fucking the drummer, my buddy Justin, who's the drummer for 8 Million Bands, Severed Head Shop, and fucking Between the Killings, and. But anyway, he had the same hat on. And fucking, it's always classic when you show up somewhere and somebody's got the same shit. It's like, oh, you motherfucker!
Right.
I think it was one day last week. It might have been me and Michael fucking get to work. We both got our fucking coats off after we get there, and we both have on the fucking Gacy business card fucking for Murder Machine.
Yeah,
both of us. I was like, God damn it! I knew it was gonna happen someday.
And I got my Exorcist shirt on there.
Yeah, so, I love that shirt.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
dope.
dig it. So, all right. Well, we're all suited up, ready to rock. The last week, though, man. Leonardo Cianciulli, the cannibal of Correggio.
We need some soap.
Wow. What a
some little
sick
cakes.
fucking story about this woman from Italy in the 1930s who killed 3 different women, turned one of them into soap, and made some blood cookies, Chris, and passed them out to the kids. That's nice.
What I'm going to start calling red velvet cake is blood cake.
That's why I'm pissed I didn't think to bring in some red velvet cookies for that episode.
See, that would have been fucking
It would have been great. And she also ate the rest of the body, though. She was not, going to let it all go to waste, and her kids, too. So she believed it kept them safe from harm. So very fucked up story. And then, Joey, you did the metal segment on an individual. That was awesome. What'd you do?
Yeah. I did Dan Lilker, who is fucking pretty badass musician and very, very influential in many, many aspects of metal. So that was cool.
That was really good. And we did a great killer cage match. Chris had a little mayhem and the usual dumb shit. So we were passing 900 to that one today. So, and another 200 on YouTube. So thanks to those of you that checked it out. We also put out some new episodes of the 666 Seconds of Murder episodes and the metal ones. So go subscribe to those. It's links in the episode description. We have 2 different channels, so sign up for both, and it's free to subscribe. Tonight, though, going back to Australia. We love going down there, guys, or over there. Or it's like worlds away. We're going to Tasmania, though, tonight. So some Van Diemen's Land and this penal colony over there. And very interesting story, though, about how Australia actually started as a prison colony. And we've got this interview that Tex and I did with Mick, which was a lot of fun. And got some clips. Yeah, we'll play those interspersed with our discussion. And
Australian fucking cops.
That's right. Mick,
Love you, Mick.
Mick is a friend of the show. He's a 666 Club member, and he's a former Australian federal police officer. And so you're going to hear all that in the murder segment coming up next. I got the horns tonight in metal, and I'm going to Finland this time, guys, with Dead Talks. These guys are sick.
Dead Talks.
Brutal death metal. I've played them before on here. Really, really wicked. And Shane turned me on to these guys. He did an episode on them for the 666 Seconds of Metal stuff we did. And then, Joey, you got a Lost Classic this week for us.
I do, and I'm fucking pretty excited about it because this one is for real, like a forgotten one for me. And I think whenever I bring it up, some of our listeners are going to be like, man, I listened to that shit in fucking forever, and go and listen to it, which is, so yeah, I'm excited about this one.
I can't wait to hear it.
That's cool. Yeah, that's always fun to dig out one you forgot all about. That's freaking awesome. Sure. So we'll do that in the metal segment. We'll talk about what we've been listening to as well. But we got to throw down a new Killer Cage match, and this one is going to be amazing. We got a list of 100 killers that we came up with, 100 objects for them to fight with, a variable in the cage, and a song cranking as they fight to the death. It's a blast, and we have some listeners to thank for providing random numbers in our Facebook group.
These three have been in a battle for a while.
They have.
Been in a battle. So once again, we have the homie 815 fucking Colin Rogers.
Hell yeah.
We got Ray Mac Daddy Mac Falls. And we got the Queen of the 419, Miss Peggy Sue.
Hell yeah.
So thank you all, dude. Appreciate it. You guys have been battling it out.
They have.
We have to put them in a cage
quick
match
draw.
tonight.
Yeah, they might have to. And we got a good one tonight, Joey, here, as if this wasn't like custom made for you, Joey. What's going on tonight?
Yeah, this one should be fun. We're going to do Rod Farrell, who is the Kentucky Vampire, and he's going to go up against Sick Ripper himself, William Devin Howell, with his murder wagon.
Are they both going to be in mullets, you guys think?
I mean, it's going to be a fucking battle. Who has the best mullet? That's going to be the side bet.
It's going to be mullets and guy liner.
Yeah.
I'll get Bobby Gavone to get involved in some bookmaking there for that fight. But they got 2 objects, a variable in the cage and a song playing on their custom Murder Metal Mayhem 666,000 watt system. It's a listener favorite for a reason. It's fucking hilarious, but you got to stick around for the Mayhem segment to hear that. And our sponsor for this one, guys, Scorpion Lair Games.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jeff Ignatowski.
That's right. He's got this new game coming. He's just launched a Kickstarter for it. I'll link to that down below for the Profiler, which he calls a social deduction game. And he says, if you love to watch CSI, then play it live when you become the Profiler, which does sound really fun.
Right.
I ordered one. He's got 50 signed and number Super Sleuth editions.
Nice.
And if they get 300 backers from Australia, then they'll open up a hub down there so you can get games from him easier, which would be super cool.
Put the word out there, homie.
So, yeah, get a hold of Jeff. Like I said, I'll link to it in the description below. Big thanks to everybody who listens to the podcast. Keep on spreading that word.
Thank you, guys.
Keep on tearing it up every week. And this week we have 5,500 total listens and another 30,000 views on YouTube. So thank you very much. And we keep on, spreading it and talking about it. And I did a live, my first live last night, and just spreading that Murder Metal Mayhem message, man. It's a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Top 10 cities listening, Chris.
Dude, once again, always number one is Chicago, Chi-Town, Chirac. Come on. And then we got Sydney and New South Wales.
It's
Australia.
a new one in the mix here. I mean, they've been in there before, but that's fucking cool. Sydney.
Number 3, we got Honolulu, Hawaii.
Nice.
We got Brisbane, Queensland, Australia at number 4.
Right.
We got fucking Brooklyn, New York at 5. Number 6 is Cashman's hometown right now. Toledo, Ohio, getting it in. What up?
Nice.
Birmingham, Alabama at number 7. Number 8, we got Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Nice.
Washington, D.C., the capital. The fucking whole country getting in on this. You see that?
President's probably listening.
Parliament's in there.
President's listening to this shit. It's
dude.
Piped in through the White House.
Yeah, we got Washington, D.C. at 9.
Can you imagine there's like visiting dignitaries like, what the fuck
are you
is
listening
this?
to? Oh, these guys are dope.
Yeah,
man.
these guys are the shit, man. We're on episode 27 and there's 256, you know.
Goddamn. And then, finally at number 10, we have Decatur, Illinois.
There
so
you
what
go.
up, y'all? Thank y'all. New cities, new shit.
Yeah.
Love y'all, dude.
That's awesome. And then, Joey, how about those countries tuning into us?
U.S. with 81%, 8% is Australia.
Nice.
3% up in Canada, 2% in Germany, and our 1%ers UK, Denmark, Panama, Brazil,
Panama.
Greece, and Ecuador.
Fuck yeah, man.
Ecuador,
You guys are
Panama.
awesome.
Go listen to the Pedro Lopez episode.
That's right.
Jesus
That's right.
Christ. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. Good, disgusting one. The YouTube stats in the last month, guys, 181,000 total views, 25,700 watch hours, and we gained 1,400 new subscribers. We just passed 6,000 yesterday, so we're like 6,047 when I checked it the last time. So it's crazy to think that 3 months ago we had 174. I mean, it's just like, wow. So thank you to the Horns High Club. That's the membership on the YouTube channel. Of course, our 6-6 Club. You guys are the shit. All of you. Thank you.
Yes.
You guys make it happen, and we appreciate it. Make sure you check out the website. I just updated it some. So murdermetalmayhem.com. You can get merch. You can find out more about what we do. And go check it out.
Go get it. Hey, yo, what you smoking on, Joey?
Tonight I got the Death by Funk. I've had this before.
Is that real?
Killer ass strain.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a Death Star and something Cluster Funk or something mix.
Nice.
What do you got, Chris?
I don't even know. I'm still calling it. The what's in the box?
The Brad Pitt.
The Brad Pitt. Yeah, because I did. You smoke way more weed than me. I'll fucking have an eighth, and it'll last me fucking like 2-3 weeks. You get an eighth, and it's gone in like 2-3 days. So like,
Yeah. Well.
Also, you're close to the grow up. And you got the homies that hook you up. I'm just getting weed, dude.
Well, we got a lot on our plate tonight, guys. Taking a trip to the other side of the world, to a land down under, and gonna try to keep our asses out of that fucking prison, though, in Tasmania.
Yeah, don't go to fucking Tasmania in prison. That sucks. We need to get our prison sentence on, though.
Fuck yeah, man. Some In Malice's
Malice's
Wake.
Wake is the shit.
To Die as One. Their song about the Guyana tragedy. Fucking killer. The Blindness of Faith was the album. I can't even wait for this new one they just finished recording. I haven't heard anything, so I'm dying to hear it. But had to play some Aussie metal for you guys tonight with this episode, so.
That wasn't Aussie. No, I get what you're saying. I'm fucking with you, dude. I'm fucking with you.
And so speaking of that, we're going to another prison story tonight, but this time going to Australia and the peninsula of Tasmania. So the Tasmania Penal Colony, to be exact. It was a penal colony to end all penal colonies.
This sounds like a fucking porn going
Yeah,
somewhere
it does
really
sound
fucking
just very
weird,
disturbing here. The worst of the worst, and they called it Port Arthur, so we could just call it Port Arthur then. But the Port Arthur massacre was one we did, guys.
And it's the same spot.
Yeah, mass shooting in Australia, which is pretty rare. It's usually a U.S. fucking situation.
Like, actually, when I was like looking at stuff like yesterday and today, because like I said, I didn't have a lot of time with kids, whatever. But Port Arthur, that's what came up. I was like, wait, we already did this.
Right?
Like,
yeah. So, yeah, this would have been like 100 years before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or maybe not quite that, but a long time before. And we're going back to when the prison was first built. And we'll have parts of the interview that Tex and I did with Mick. As I mentioned, the former Australian police officer, great insights in these Australian stories. And so this should be a good one. Yeah. But Chris, I mean, what is it about the prison stories that you think seem to resonate maybe with us as well as the listeners?
I think talking about the prison stories like this, like the escapes, the riots, and just like this, the building of a continent, basically. I like doing them because it's intense as fuck. I mean, we all know Cashman's been to fucking DOC, fucking whatever, and we've had plenty of friends but I just think the listeners want to know that haven't been there, like, is that what it's really like in these places? And especially at these certain
infamous ones that we've done, you know, Alcatraz.
And especially these certain times. Like, I don't know. I just like doing them because it makes me understand a little more about history of prison systems and where they are now.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. And the listeners, I mean, when they get a lot of listens, I mean, the Black Dolphin is still in the top 5. I was going to tell you guys that the Brutal Rewind 4 finally got dethroned by the Toolbox Killers. They're number 5 now.
Nice.
Bittaker and Norris, number 5, most listened to.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, it is cool. But, Joey, we've done some classics, dude. I mean, Black Dolphin, we've been talking about them, but the Texas 7, that was a great one, you know, the escape. But what was your favorite? The riots or the escapes, or what do you think?
My favorite one that we did personally was the Texas 7, and I don't know what.
I think that was your idea.
I feel like
right?
we had the most fun.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it was a Page a Day idea, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
Or I was looking at it on something else. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and we had Tex on with us, which was awesome.
We had Tex on it, and I think that was one of the first times that he was on with us.
It might have been. You might be right.
And the first prison one for sure, I think. And so that was, I think that's why I'll always like and remember that one, because it was something a little different than what we usually do. But obviously, true crime, you can't talk about it without institutions at some point, you know?
Right.
You have to,
we always talk about everybody's sentence, you know, all the killers that we talk about.
Yeah, where they end up.
But that being our first one and just a little bit different than what we did, and it was such a fun one, and having Tex on, it went well, and I don't know. So I think I'll always remember that one. As far as like brutality, like Black Dolphin, I won't forget that. Yeah. Like doing the research for that was wow, this place is crazy as fuck.
Right.
The New Mexico one.
Yeah, actually, Black Dolphin was first. Black Dolphin was actually first because Tex heard that, and that's what prompted him to then come on and start doing them with us. The prison ones.
The folded taco.
Texas 7 was the first escape.
Silver taco, was that what it was?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember it. There's so many of them, but these are just a lot of fun to do, and the listeners really dig it.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. But when I did some research into the Tasmanian Penal Colony after Mick brought it up in the last interview that I did with him, I thought it would be a good one for us to do, a little different. And especially since we get so many Australian listeners, and our current top 10 cities, list has 2 Australian cities in it. So I think that's great. And so thanks for all you guys in Australia for listening. We appreciate it, man. 8% of our listeners.
All you Aussies are the shit.
That's cool. And a heads up, since we've been called the Beavis and Butthead, Chris, since we started, I'm going to apologize in advance for any giggles of whenever we say penal, because we've already kind of joked around. But I'm just letting everybody know that we're a bunch of, immature fools when we do this.
Yeah, we don't give a shit.
No.
I mean, penal colony sounds like a porno grind.
That's what, right? See, dude, for real.
Exactly.
For fucking real.
Exactly.
Dude. Like,
so let's
penal
hear
colony
what,
with a bucket full of babies.
Speaking of penal, let's listen to how this all became a thing in Tasmania and Australia's a little history lesson from Mick. So let's check this first clip out. So I know that I've heard stories about this, Mick, and I know that, maybe some of our listeners aren't aware, but how was Australia founded? I mean, in a thumbnail sketch, how did Australia become Australia?
I guess you're talking European settlement to start with.
Right.
I'll start at the end with a statement, and then I'll come back to it. We probably have to either thank or blame America for this, because just after your War of Independence, that's what prompted the English or the British Empire to basically say, we've got nowhere else to send our convicts. Where else could we put them? So because you became independent, they've now had to find somewhere else. But from, I suppose, a European perspective, a lot of people don't know that Australia was very much on the sites of the Dutch first, probably 150, 200 years before the English even were anywhere in the vicinity. So the Dutch had the Dutch East Indies, which is Indonesia, and then obviously that area into Southeast Asia. So dating back to the early 1600s, the Dutch were circumnavigating Australia. So there's still to this day a lot of islands or a lot of places that are named after either Dutch settlers, Dutch explorers, or have Dutch terms. Like we have a famous place off the west coast of Australia called Rottnest Island. It's a very big tourist attraction. And effectively it means rat's nest, in Dutch, because we've got these small little animals that look like rats. So it's still very much Dutch orientated. But as far as the English goes, as I said, in about 1770, James Cook, was doing a bit of a travel around the place. And he mapped the east coast of Australia. The west coast and south had already been done by the Dutch, but he did the east coast. And then obviously at that point, claimed a place called Botany Bay, which is where Sydney is located, for king and country. And then in 1788 is when the first fleet came out. So the first shipment of convicts plus some free settlers, came out in 1788. And that's just after, as I said, your War of Independence. So they needed to find somewhere to go, send the convicts they've lost obviously a whole stack of land and resources. So they needed to now, find something separate. From a Tasmanian perspective, it was about the mid-1600s that there was a Dutch explorer called Abel Tasman, which obviously came on to become Tasmania. So he founded it, he located it, and called it what was called Van Diemen's Land, which I think, Mick, you asked Pete, you asked a question about a little bit later.
Right.
So that's pretty much, around that area. So the Dutch East Indies was very strong, in the northern part of Australia. And it was around, the 1770s through to 1780s that the English started to make a bit of a stance.
Okay. Interesting. So there you go, Chris. I mean, getting Mick's perspective on this, these Australian episodes. I mean, it's awesome to get him involved.
It's nice to have him involved in his enlightenment on the situation. And growing up there, knowing, like I said earlier, the history of his past and his country, and what happened there, and being a fucking law enforcement officer, like obviously he knows what's going on.
Right.
But
no, it's really good to get him involved. Such a good dude too.
yeah,
So
I love Tex.
Yeah.
Not Tex. Sorry, Mick.
yeah, and Tex,
Sorry, Mick.
Tex and Mick are a lot of fun. The last two we've done, all the three, and it's been a lot of fun. So a penal colony is defined as a distant or overseas prison meant to house some of the worst offenders by forced labor, extreme isolation. Part of, sort of like our Alcatraz was, being on its own island there, and the worst of the worst inmates from around the country. But in the case of Tasmania, these were convicts from England that they shipped there, and they were forced, in slave labor to cut down trees. I mean, build
They had to
ships,
build their own fucking
prison.
homes,
I mean,
whatever.
they built
yeah.
everything. And some were just poor rural farmers that just kind of got caught up in this shit. So they weren't even, all of them weren't even criminals.
Yeah, some of them was just like, honestly, like teenagers.
Drunks or poor,
or teenagers
hanging
is
out
like,
at the Nation.
I need bread. I want to
Yeah.
grab it, and they ship them off. Like, you're out.
Right. Kids who committed like minor infractions, sent to this trip around the world for this godforsaken, at the time, prison with this terrible reputation. And I saw about 20% of them were women that were brought to the prison. So, but a pretty cool, to find out the original name of Tasmania was Demon's Land.
Demon's
So,
Land.
how fucking cool is that?
Dude, when I first heard that, dude, I was like, wait.
I know. I was like, nice. I mean, it sounds cooler than it actually is, though, because some guy was named Van Diemen, not spelled the same way.
Yeah, it's not spelled.
It sounds
the way you
like
think,
demon, like we think of. So, Demon's Land.
But the Demon's Land, like the Demon's Land fucking devil, that's what he would be called if they kept it. That would be badass.
I know.
It would be, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So I petitioned Mick to try to see if he can get somebody to turn it back to Demon's Land.
Come on, let's turn this shit back to the real
maybe
name,
we
bro.
do like a live Murder Metal Mayhem from Tasmania, and now Demon's Land. How badass would that be? We'd have Gape play with it. That would be the shit. So after the British lost the Revolutionary War, they began moving the inmates to Australia, and the British came in, killed the indigenous people that were there. Then many consider it a mass genocide. So this is fucked up, because it's funny how we only hear about the United States doing shit like that to the Native Americans.
The British did that to Australia for real.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that there wasn't atrocities to the Native Americans. I'm just saying that this shit happens all over the world. But for some reason, we're the ones that always get lumped in on that deal. Now, Joey, that being in, prison is, like this has got to be rough. I mean, what kind of shit were they doing to him, dude?
Well, I mean, these are horrible conditions. This is a long time ago. A third of them that got fucking shipped down to Australia died from the transportation because it was so treacherous. They were shackled below decks. I mean, they didn't have no fucking food or water. Like in the systems themselves. I mean, it was just crazy. So the people that did make it to Australia, then they're forced to fucking do like manual labor or basically become fucking servants to earn their freedom there.
Right.
And I mean, it's just a hard life all around. But I mean, I feel like, I don't know, but I'm saying if I came from like Britain or the UK, and all of a sudden they stick me in Australia where there's great white sharks and kangaroos will fight you and crocodiles, everything will kill you in Australia.
Australia will kill you, dude.
Like, holy fuck,
spiders.
man.
Spiders.
Yeah, the spider. Like,
shits,
you guys are
dude.
bogus for putting me down here, for real.
Like, you are putting me in a fucking winless battle.
But the argument against the other side of that, Joey, is that a lot of them at least had the promise of something, because a lot of them were so destitute that that ride over, like you said, I mean, that had to be fucking treacherous.
A ton of them, apart from the fact that it obviously it cost to get back over to to the UK or England or wherever. But
Right.
a bunch of them, by the time if they did gain their freedom, they did stay in Australia anyway, because they knew if they went back home, they would be in a poorer situation than
Right.
what they were.
Right.
Yeah, like you said, destitute. So they were like, "Fuck that! I already
Yeah.
lived that life. All I'm gonna do is be stealing again or whatever I was doing."
Right. Yeah. At
You
least
know?
you got a chance, you know. So
Yeah.
that's the flip side of that. But
Yeah.
the prison is built as a panopticon, which is invented in the 1700s, and that's a design where all the inmates can be seen by one corrections officer per section or wing. So now we of course achieve that with cameras, but this was very psychologically damaging to these guys. I mean, just constantly under the watchful eye. But Chris, that's got to be kind of weird. But I mean, is it like that, like at county with cameras and stuff? I mean, do they inside the cells?
Yeah, they have cameras. I mean, they're not like watching you, but it's still weird because you are incarcerated and these people are constantly watching you. Whether it's a camera so when I was in the last time I was in jail, and when I say the last time, I really hope the last time.
Yeah, please. That was a little stressful there.
Right. Like, I hope the last time. But yeah, they have their cameras because they watch what you're doing. And I was in a fucking dorm, so it was just a big ass open room,
right,
with bunks all down the line until I got moved to the kitchen staff, which that was kind of cool because I had my own cell. It was sweet. It was the new part of the jail.
Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah. But anyway, yeah, there's always somebody watching you no matter what. Whether it be the cameras, the guards,
or
the other inmates just like checking out what the fuck you're doing.
Sure.
Like, am I wrong, Joey? Like, there's always somebody watching.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, so like.
Well, and that's prison, but unfortunately, it seems like in the world, it's the same way now.
World,
everywhere.
It's the same way. Exactly.
They'll Google you from goddamn space and find out where your cell phone's pinging and take pictures of you doing whatever you're doing. If
like,
they want to.
what's his number?
Yeah.
Boom, boom. There he was,
messed
right
up,
there.
man.
Exactly, dude.
So it was interesting, though, to see that in Tasmania, they slowly began steering away from the beatings and that kind of shit.
Right.
And found it only made the inmates more difficult. So they were using food to reward inmates who were behaved to get better food, more food, and get some extra stuff like sugar, tea, tobacco. And they worked their asses off. I mean,
They was living
back-breaking.
off kangaroo meat.
Physical labor. But shipbuilding was a really good skill to learn at that time. So really, I mean, if they got through it, they had a very marketable skill in shipbuilding at that time. And after you were in that prison for a while, as long as you did what you were told, in total fucking silence, which we're going to get into this, I mean, Jesus, then you were allowed to work in the colony. But if you weren't getting your mind right, you just fucking stayed in there. And that would
Maybe
be
you're
good.
not helping me make my mind right.
I don't know.
They're probably not helping make you mind right.
No, not at all. No, that's like the worst.
No,
thing.
because they didn't give them God. If they gave them some weed, they could get their mind right.
That's right,
That's
Joey,
right.
because that wasn't part of the incentives. But I think if you were the warden, I think you would have been all about that, right?
Oh fuck yeah! Because I would have been like, who's the best fucking farmers on my staff? Because we're
Right.
going to be harvesting some hell of fucking crops down here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the total silence thing that just really freaks me out because I know how loud prisons are. I've worked in them before, and it's like crazy loud, like all the time. But to have total silence, man, I don't know about that. That'd be weird. That'd be weird.
I would rather hear motherfuckers like screaming and yelling than like
Total
just like
quiet.
that silence.
Yeah.
It's so quiet that your fucking ears ring.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I don't want nothing to do with that. Like,
No.
I don't hear people,
No.
man.
No.
Basically, when you're locked up, I mean, I know this is the same in other situations, but definitely in prison and shit, like, if shit goes silent, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah,
right?
you might as well get yourself somewhere fucking safe and fucking mind your own business and hope that whatever's happening doesn't involve you in any kind of way, or that shit isn't going to bring itself to you in any kind of way.
Right.
Because if it is quiet, there's some shit about to break down.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like I said, you could take that, like, in nature, if you're out in the woods and shit. Like, they tell you if all of a sudden you don't hear shit, it's because there's probably a big predator around.
Right.
Same thing in the water, if all the fucking fish disappear and all that. Yeah.
Right. That's true. Now, Chris, if the inmates are acting up, they'd only give them enough bread and water to survive. And if things really got out of hand, that's when this whole silent system would come in. And they're wearing hoods when they're taken from their cells.
Yeah.
What does that sound like?
That sounds like not a good time.
Black Dolphin.
Right.
Yeah, Black Dolphin for real. But they fucking would only give these people rations. And like you said earlier, there was a number of women and a number of men. And there were also children that came to this place.
Yeah, there was a separate prison for the kids. Yeah.
And they only got ration, like the men got ration out a certain, I don't remember what the numbers were, but of meat, bread, whatever.
Right.
And they didn't even get meat. They actually had motherfuckers going out there hunting down kangaroos just for fucking food.
Wow.
But they didn't even get meat. Or let me go back. So the men's rations were this point. The women's rations got a third, and the children got a quarter of what they got. So like,
wow.
I couldn't even imagine living in that way. Like, you only get
awful.
this much every. I mean, that's prison. That's
still
jail.
though. This is extreme, man.
But at least in fucking jail and whatever nowadays, you can at least spend your money that people give you and get extras.
Right.
I don't got to go get a fucking.
Yeah, no commissary here at this joint.
No, hell no.
So let's listen to another clip of that Mick and Tex discussion. They're talking about the way convicts were treated here at Port Arthur and how things have changed when it comes to dealing with inmates today.
Now, there were some brutal policies over the years at Port Arthur, like, them not being able to talk and in total silence, and what, like today, we call solitary confinement. Today in the corrections field, we know that's the last thing we need to do is let somebody back into the world angry and not used to human interaction and just with a lot of violent tendencies. In your opinion, what is it that's changed around the world in treating inmates humanely and trying to rehabilitate them?
Well, Mike, you're probably better suited to answer that question than I am. But I suppose not just obviously in Port Arthur. We still got an example. Black Dolphin, which is the episode that Pete you've done in the past, where they still have this, ultimate silence. And some of the South American countries, are also the same. Complete silence. So. Probably, as you mentioned, it's people who have served their term. They're coming out. Potentially there's the increase of human rights and human rights legislation that's come into place. I think that there would have been a lot of prison reviews and reforms that have come out to try to address recidivism. And just to look at a more humane way of dealing with people, because at some point, I would presume the expectation is that they serve their term and then they get released back into the community. And you want worthwhile, contributing members of society to come back. Not people who are angry and disgruntled and have a chip on their shoulder and some sort of axe to bear because they were treated appallingly by the institution.
Yeah, I know, Tex, you bring that up all the time, because you're right in the mix. I mean, that's the last thing you need is it's already a volatile, could be a volatile situation there behind bars. You don't need more of that,
Yeah, I think we finally come to realize that, warehousing them and everything like Mick was just talking about, it doesn't work. You have to rehabilitate. You have to give them some type of incentive to go back out and be productive.
Right.
And, I think do think we've finally come to that realization.
Yeah. I mean, if you send them back with no skill, they're just going to go back to what they were doing that got them there in the first place. It's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Vicious. So, Joey, always good to hear from Tex on these kind of topics, you know, being that corrections officer, and then him and Mick shedding some light on this stuff, man. What'd you think about that?
Yeah. It's always interesting to hear from them, and, you know, the different perspectives is great.
Right.
Each of us with our own perspective. Everybody has their own perspective. Even if you've never, like, been locked up or anything like that, you have an idea in your mind of how you think it would be, or how you think you would be treated. And as a matter of fact, I guess maybe the average person doesn't, like the average adult, if you ain't been to jail, you don't think you're going to go to jail because you've already been through your bullshit. But I feel like not knowing is almost scarier. Like, whenever I was going to jail for first time, that was the scariest time. The when I went to prison for the first time, like the day I went that was the scariest shit in my life.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And then it turns out it's life. You know what I'm saying? So it evolves, and you keep going. Time keeps ticking. But at that moment, you're filled with so much dread, and I got to imagine that there's some people that are out there that never have gone, maybe have watched too much stories about it, too much documentaries, whatever,
right.
And you know, obsess over it to the point where they're so afraid of that. You know, Chris talks about he went to Cook County Jail, and like, I never went to Cook County Jail, but I know whenever, like, in the 90s when we were growing up, it's like, man, you don't want to get in trouble there because they got the dick doctor. They'll stick that fucking Q-tip in your dick.
Take that.
Who the hell wants that?
Nobody. I did not.
Yeah.
And they did it.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Nope.
But, you know, the way you're describing that, Joey, it's interesting because I just interviewed a guy that I served with on Friday for a video I'm working on about PTSD, and he was saying that cloud of dread that they felt after they got out of the combat that never left. It was just like this constant fear of dread. So it's fascinating that you used a very similar analogy to explain prison, which I could see the comparisons there, you know.
Obviously not, like, if I had been through a riot or some kind of crazy shit in the prison, maybe I could have equated it to close to being in the war or whatever. But while I was locked up, my homie Craig Jackson went to he did 2 tours over in Iraq. But the whole time I was locked up, he was basically doing his time, both his bits, and we wrote to each other back and forth the whole time. And the craziest shit was the similarities from me going into receiving and him going to boot camp, and then him getting deployed and me going to prison and having to deal with the other inmates and him having to deal with the other soldiers, and to make yourself all fit in to work as a unit and not be against each other. And it was wild, like, just talking to him and seeing the insight between those. So I can imagine crazy, like you were talking.
Yeah, definitely. Now, they did find that many inmates suffered from mental illness, so go figure. You know, you got them in extreme isolation, some with limited sunlight. I mean, this is fucked up. And they, you know, actually built an asylum right next to the prison to be able to deal with it. And despite these, you know, fact that these inmates were used as slave labor and conditions were brutal, this was considered a model prison for its time. So kind of crazy. Things obviously have come a long way, but Jesus.
That being the model.
I know, it's crazy to think it. But, Chris, I mean, the inmates were given that incentive to get some land. What was up with that?
Their sentence up if they wanted. They could just be like becoming citizen of Australia.
Right.
And so that's kind of fucked up. It's like, oh, we're just going to start a whole fucking country of convicted felons, basically. Like, it's like Pedophile Island, but...
Oh, come on now.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that.
We get all our Australian listeners are going to be like, fuck
Australia,
these guys.
I love you guys. I'm just...
No, but then they had all these immigrants, rushes of immigrants that like then evened it out.
I mean, yeah, the country starts booming. Like, these motherfuckers are just like, oh, this is our shit. So they got motherfuckers coming in like, you guys are living on fucking good life. Let's go check it out. So
fresh start, new place, beautiful country. I mean, absolutely beautiful. So
and very murderous. As
And
far as the wildlife.
and that's maybe why they're just a shade
as far as the
crazier, man.
wildlife.
They might be a little crazier than us. I don't
That's
know.
why the Australians are fucking just like, fuck that goddamn snake.
Now, I also saw that the juvenile boys there were in a separate building, but the guy that ran the boys' prison said if he had to choose to either have his son serve time at the prison or be hanged, he said he would hang them all himself.
God damn.
What the fuck?
That's fucking harsh, bro.
God damn. I mean, Jesus.
That's fucking harsh, dude.
To say the least. I did say that, or see that ships came to bring goods and other inmates, and then they had to turn in their sails and oars to prevent escape.
Right.
Not a bad idea. But there were still some successful escapes, apparently, over the 40 years that it was there. So, crazy. I saw Tasmania was the birth of rail travel in Australia. Very cool. First tramway
cartoons.
powered by inmates from Port Arthur. So
Also cartoons, the Tasmanian Devil.
that's right, of course, the Tasmanian Devil. The mainland fought with them over the years to try to keep away the prisoners that were being released, but I'm sure that was like, yeah, whatever. And they all.
Hey, Australia, we love you.
That's right.
This is history, though.
Exactly. Now, Joey, I saw that inmates sometimes committed murder in the prison just to get executed so they could get the hell out of there. That's pretty brutal, man.
Motherfuckers in the United States are suicidal to the point where motherfuckers off themselves a lot,
Right.
Right.
We have a very high suicide rate in our country, says the numbers, I guess. But I mean, I know a lot of people who have also taken their lives, as do you guys, and
Yes.
it's sadly a common thing in the U.S. So anyway, if we have those kind of problems in normal everyday society, of course,
Right.
there's got to be a high rate of people back then going through the shit they're going through that are just like,
Yep.
fuck this. This is
Yeah.
not worth living my
I'm
life
done.
like this.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine it. Now, when inmates died in the prison, they were buried at the Isle of the Dead. I love that. And the small island off the coast there where they recorded 1,646 unmarked graves.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And 180
That's a fucking
graves,
lot.
though, of staff were marked. So that's
course the
nice.
staff
Of
were.
course. Prison closed in 1877, remained vacant until it was sold in 1889. Did bounce around to a couple different owners, but they saw the value in it for tourism, and that's when it changed to the Port Arthur we know today with the gift shops and the restaurant.
Museum, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
then,
cool.
And we covered this in fucking episode 172. Fucking dumbass fucking Martin Bryant.
Right.
In 1996 went in there and he decided he wanted to shoot it up.
Right.
So fuck him. But that's the same Port Arthur where this prison began.
Right.
Is the same spot that this motherfucker did his dumbass shit in 96. So
With
fuck-
his yellow car.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
him.
that
dude.
guy was a piece of shit. Yeah, 35 dead, 23 injured, just brutal. And we had Mick on that one as well. But despite all of that shit in 1996, Port Arthur continues to be a tourist attraction. And at one point, I saw it was called Carnarvon, and then they changed it back to Port Arthur. The ruins of the original prison buildings are still there. If you watch the documentary, they show it. I'd love to go to Australia someday, and if I did, I'd have to go to Tasmania just because it looks beautiful, but also I want to see about tracking down one of these Tasmanian devils to bring back here as a pet.
Fuck yeah.
For
dude.
Horns High. I mean,
I
how
would
cool would that-
100% love to have a Tasmanian devil.
But dude, I googled
Demon's Land Devil.
Demon's Land.
Googled that fucking
Nice.
shit, and those son of a
They're vicious
bitches
as
are
fuck.
fucking mean, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Called Tasmanian devil.
I know.
for a
I was
fucking-
just
You think
like-
your Chihuahua's an asshole?
Yeah. Oh,
There's-
you get rid of your dog, bro.
There's pictures of the Tasmanian devil with their fucking mouths like completely open. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And they're like a small dog, but I mean those teeth are wow. I mean it's yeah. So I'm reconsidering, but maybe Mick can help us out. Maybe
Yeah,
he can
Mick,
get
ship
one
us
and
a
send it to
domesticated
us.
one, bro.
Yeah, send us a tame one that's not going to tear us up. But Joey, now I'm going to be playing some Gape later on, just because I had to, And of course, these guys are from Tasmania. But Rick, he's a listener, right?
Yeah, he is definitely from Gape. Fucking, them boys are right there on the fucking.
That's awesome.
You know, the spot.
That's right. That's super.
What
cool,
other
man.
Australian bands you want to mention?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll shout out some metal bands from Australia that I dig from all over. You know, fucking. Because Australia is like pretty diverse place, but Corpse Carving, one of my favorite bands. Disentomb, fucking huge. King Parrot, me and Chris
King
seen
Parrot,
them.
baby, yeah.
Bestial Warlust is from there. Psychroptic, the Berserker, of course.
The Berserker,
that's just so sick.
Yep.
Shout out to my boy Bradley Slamson, who does Dripped and Maggot King and some other projects. He's from Perth in Western Australia.
Nice.
Putrescent Seepage, that shit's sick. Seminal Embalmment, and then of course Rick and the boys from Gape. So fucking Canada.
Or Canada.
Or Australia.
Canada.
Yeah, there's so many great Australian bands.
Just cause.
A lot of great thrash in Malice's wake. Harlot, I really dig those guys. And there's several more offhand, not thinking of them. But yeah, so many great bands. Battle Grave is a good one, like a two-man band. Just good shit, man. A lot of great music in Australia. Love it. So... anything to add to this one, guys? The Tasmania Penal Colony or Port Arthur?
I don't think I got it. I did, but I forgot what it was.
All right. Joey, anything?
I don't.
Well, I did my research by watching the Geographics documentary. That's the one I'd recommend. It's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It was excellent. Simon Whistler does those. The guy that does Casual Criminalist.
I did have one thing.
What's that?
I fucking was checking some shit out, and like whenever they was going to the penal colony, any money they had on them, they took it and they put it on the books. And when they got it back, or when they got out, released, they got it back. But they were also giving them 5% interest on that money. Like, hold on. So I'm gonna go to jail with this much money, and you're gonna give me this much more back when I get out? I'm like, that fucking blew my mind.
Yeah,
man.
that's pretty. It's pretty amazing for that time period. That's for sure.
Hell yeah.
But that Geographics documentary was good. Also, of course, talking to Mick in the interview that Tex and I did. But there's stuff out there if you want to learn about it. Wikipedia had a decent little bit of info. But I did, enjoy checking this one out. Always love the Australian stories. Huge thanks to Mick and Tex for taking part in this episode. Pre-recorded interview. And I'm actually interviewing Mick again on Friday for a True Crime Deep Cuts I'm doing on DNA. And that's going to be awesome. And that's going to be on the YouTube channel. So some modern cases and some controversy, both in Australia and here in the United States with these labs that are analyzing DNA. Thousands of cases potentially in the mix here to be overturned or retried because of this fiasco. It's crazy. Now, next week, guys, we're going to do the case of Elise Paler, also known as the Slayer murder, with the two metalheads that took their Slayer lyrics just a little bit too seriously.
Oh, it's not good. I remember hearing this.
Yeah, this is a fucked up story, man, but I just watched something on it. Heinous shit they did to this poor girl, and that's going to be our 6-year anniversary show. So that's going to be an awesome way to celebrate, talking about something fucked up like that. Yeah, some Slayer, but it's disturbing, and that's just the way we roll. But another milestone, man. 6 years, guys. It's crazy to think, man. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Joey, how about some page a day for us? What you got, buddy?
This is crazy. I got 2 of them. Now, I can't even make this up. This first one, it's like they fucking knew. It's about it's called the penal reform in the UK.
Oh my god!
And it ties into our subject. I was like, get the fuck out of here. So so what they're talking about in the UK is the Bloody Code. So this is 1688. There were 50 crimes in the English legal system that were punishable by death. And by 1815, that number had increased to 215. Now, the late 17th century in England to the early 19th century is known as the Bloody Code due to the pervasiveness of the capital punishment there.
Right.
Now, the bloody code was set by rich men, and it was skewed towards their interests. Anything that threatened their wealth, property, or sense of morality was criminalized. Attitudes towards crime was moralistic, and criminals were considered sinful, driven by laziness. Now, executions were public through the mid-19th century due to the perception that this would deter people from committing these crimes. An idea that was pretty much debunked, obviously.
Right. It's like, I don't care
so some of the crimes that were punishable by death in England in the early 19th century were murder, stealing from a rabbit warren, arson, wrecking a fish pond, forgery, cutting down trees. Don't do that shit.
Fish pond.
He said wrecking a fish pond.
Jesus.
Stealing
Christ.
horses or sheep, destroying turnpike roads, pickpocketing goods worth a shilling, which is roughly $37 today, being out at night with a blackened face, being an unmarried mother concealing a stillborn child, and stealing from a shipwreck. But like I said, there were hundreds of fucking...
God damn, bro.
So despite the liberal use of capital punishment in England during the time, the jails still became overcrowded. So then the transportation, which is what we were talking about today, which is the practice of shipping imprisoned people to the penal colonies in the Americas and to Australia later on, because that's basically where New Orleans came from too.
Exactly,
so we got our own little piece of that pie, you know.
Right.
Now, over the course of 80 years, more than 165,000 people convicted of crimes were transported to Australia. Nearly 90% of them were boys and men, and some as young as 9 and as old as 80.
Yep.
1 in 3 of the exiles died en route to Australia due to the conditions on the ships. Now, in Australia, some of the prisoners worked on chain gangs, building infrastructures and roads, that's what we were talking about, and others were sent to work on farms or in quarries, which is basically the same as being an indentured servant. Those who exhibited good behavior were given a ticket to leave and had their sentence reduced, but, like I was saying, most of them chose to stay there than to return to a life of crime and poverty in England.
That's so fucked up.
So that's crazy that they talked about that. I know, I couldn't believe it. Okay. So the second one, I'll get through this real quick, but this is pretty cool. This is the East Village gas explosion, March 26, 2015. Sushi restaurant in East Village neighborhood of New York City blows up, along with the rest of the building, resulting in a 7-alarm fire that killed 2 people, injured 19, and took 250 firefighters to contain. By March 27th, 3 buildings that had been designated landmarks by the New York City Landmark Preservation Committee had been reduced to ruins, and half a city block was incinerated. 4 restaurants were destroyed, and 144 apartments in the area had to be evacuated, and the residents ended up losing those homes permanently. In the immediate aftermath of the explosion, dude, this is crazy shit. In the aftermath of the explosion, it's reported that the blast was due to work on the building's plumbing and gas lines. Work that the building's apartments there'd been work on these apartments going on since August 2014, which is when the owner of Sushi Park called 911 to report the odor of gas. The utility worker who responded to the scene discovered something that would eventually lead to disaster, and it's called gas siphoning. So the gas was being siphoned from the restaurant to the apartments above. The utility company shut off gas to the building for 10 days. Then they felt it was safe to turn back on. And that time, the building's owner, Maria Orenko, began siphoning gas with the help of a contractor, Dilber Kuchik, from the neighboring building, which she also owns. So she's like, getting gas. So on the day of the explosion, a utility worker came to inspect a legal gas line that the building's owner had tried to have installed, but was then unable to approve its use due to design and construction issues. So the tapping apparatus that they used to siphon the gas from next door, they had it disconnected prior to the inspection so that the utility worker wouldn't see it. And Kuchik had told a tenant that day, say that you don't have gas if anyone asks you. Super shady as fuck. Awkward. Wow. The apparatus. So afterwards, the apparatus was not properly reconnected. The owner of Sushi Park again smells gas, but this time he calls Maria Horenko instead of 911. Horenko sends her son and Q-Chick to the building to check on the gas leak. In the security footage taken right before the explosion, the two men can be seen running from Sushi Park without warning any other patrons or staff of the leak or anything. They just bounce.
Oh my God.
So they were going to the building's side entrance where the gas line was rigged, and when they opened the door, the explosion occurred. Horenko, Q-Chick, and Athanasios Ioannidis, who was an unlicensed plumber who actually had rigged the gas line, were all found guilty of manslaughter. Wow. They were each sentenced 4 to 12 years in prison in 2020, and Q-Chick was also convicted on federal money laundering charges from an unrelated case because he had bribed an undercover investigator posing as a housing inspector. This is fucked up. Wow. So Maria Horenko's son was charged with manslaughter along with the others, but he actually died awaiting trial. Andrew Trombatis, he was a plumber who illegally sold the use of his plumbing license to Ioannidis, and he ended up pleading guilty to lesser charges, so he got in trouble too. But yeah, fucking crazy ass explosion took out some of fucking historic New York City because they were siphoning gas.
That's fucked. That is shady as hell. Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly shady as shit.
Yeah,
bro.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Well, we have done our fair share of murdering tonight, so I think it's time to crank up and talk about some heavy metal. So, Joey, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our dead talks on.
Fuck you.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you.
All right, forever dedicated to the great metal motherfucker.
Always to CK.
To CK and CCK here in the studio with us, Cardboard CK, keeping the poser geists away. And Joey, we're eating some Pop-Tarts, and you're doing a little tribute to CK. What are you doing?
I'm eating these Dollar General version cinnamon and brown sugar because CK hated that flavor, and the generic especially.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking right.
That's right. And Chris, what are you eating over there?
Fucking Lego my ego.
Lego my ego. I got the Oreo Pop-Tart. So we eat Pop-Tarts, kind of a tradition. We did it back when CK was with us, and we continue.
Oh,
So
yeah,
just
now
don't
you
mind
got
us chewing and talking. And
Right. Sorry, guys, and the crinkling of the foil.
that's right. Now, I got the horns tonight. So now
Yes,
that
you do.
CK's gone, we trade every week. We take turns. Who's got the horns in metal? And I got them this week. And I picked the band Dead Talks. These guys are wicked. They're from Finland. And doing
has the
some
horns.
brutal, old school death metal. Chris just actually handed me some goat horns. Three different
see 'em.
goat. So I got them going on here. I literally have the horns. And these guys are wicked, man. They're from Finland, just doing some old school brutal death metal, but their own way. I mentioned earlier, I found out about these guys from Shane when we did that 666 Seconds episode when the last album just came out last year. They started out in 2019, so they're a pretty new band. All the band members are original members. The lineup is Joni Lasko on bass, Henke Ackerland on drums, Tommy Joutsen on guitar, Timo Vainio on guitar, and they have a third guitar player, Jukka Veiksola. But hopefully he's not like that fool in Iron Maiden throwing his guitar up in the air because he's not really needed. I think Juke is actually playing because the video they have is just friggin' wicked. The sound is thick as hell with that third guitar player, but the singer, Antti Astrom, is really, really good. Several of these guys were from a band, Joey, I don't know if you heard of the Corpse Molester Cult.
No, I hadn't heard. That's pretty awesome.
Sounds like a good time. And yeah, they had an EP out, so you might want to check that out. Corpse Molester Cult.
I love
like
it.
3 of them were in this band. They split up, and so it looks like they kind of reformed as Dead Talks. But their only album came out late last year. It's called Veneration of the Dead. It's fantastic. Came out on Apostasy Records. So go check these guys out. Now, I got a 60-second clip to play for you after this segment, so make sure you crank that shit up. So, Joey, what about the Lost Classic?
As I was saying fucking before, doing the Lost Classic, a lot of times, man, we'll say one that's like, man, I don't even know if that's really a fucking a Lost, because we always listen to it still or whatever.
Right.
This time, fucking, for my Lost Classic, I'm going to go back to 1993, November of 1993. And the album is a fucking Metallica live shit, Binge and Purge, which I'm holding up the box set right now.
Nice.
Man, I can't believe I haven't even thought about this in fucking forever, I don't think. But I remember whenever I first moved to Fairbury, where Chris is from, I met these dudes, the Krugmans, and
everybody was in
Metallica
Metallica all the time, bro.
They love Metallica, and we were in this band Metal Anguish. So that was my my high school band at the time. But man, we used to watch the fuck out of those tapes out of that box set and listen to them fucking albums and for like years. And then like I just never listened to them again forever. And then I fucking saw the box set somewhere. I was like,
nice,
fuck yeah, I'm grabbing it. And then I was jamming it, and I was like, hell yeah, this shit's fucking great.
Yeah, old Metallica, I love it, man. Definitely.
Hell yeah.
So that's a great Lost Classic, Joey. Chris, what about the Horns next week for the 6-year anniversary
Not
show?
gonna lie, I haven't fucking decided yet.
That's all
I
right.
won't lie to you. So.
Game time decision?
The game time. I got a couple ideas. I just haven't figured it out yet. So
Yeah.
all y'all be surprised about something, hopefully. But
Cool.
Yeah, I got it.
Very cool. And what have we all been listening to lately? Joey, what have you been jamming?
I was actually jamming that new Metallica, that fucking 72 Seasons.
It's not too bad, really.
Fucking Binge of Church. No, I dig it. And I went to a show this last weekend at Frankie's here in Toledo, which is... Frankie's was a fucking huge venue back in the day, and then they fucking closed down for a long time. They just started doing shows again. But I went and saw fucking Necessary Death. My homies fucking, they played. And
yes, you
fucking
did.
Malice from here in Toledo. And fucking now I'm fucking spacing, but it was a fucking good time. Who the hell else played that shit? Oh, Dissection from fucking Tiffin, which is down by Finley and shit.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it was a fucking badass show. It was cool to go out to the Toledo show. We were talking about it, how there's all these fucking young kids because they have all these all ages shows, which is cool around here. I do dig that. Because, man, that's how the next generation's going to fucking get into the shit, is by going to the shows and fucking getting the merch and having a good time. So, yeah, it was all ages. It was fucking pretty packed out. Dope time. So that's what I was jamming.
Very cool.
Nice,
Very cool.
nice.
Chris, anything you want to mention that you've been listening
I've still
to?
been jamming the new Skeletal Remains, dude, because that album's fucking gnarly as fuck.
It's
I
sick.
love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I love it. But most of the shit I've been listening to, I've been going back a little bit, like older shit, like Purification, Dying Fetus, Purification Through Violence. One of my favorites, dude. I love that shit. Fucking Eaten Back to Life, Cannibal Corpse,
Nice.
the number one
Yeah.
Cannibal Corpse album. Fucking go get it. But I also been going through the goddamn motherfucking discography of motherfucking Guns N' Roses. I don't know, just last weekend and the past few days, I'm just like, I just want to fucking jam some GNR all fucking day. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been listening to. And that fucking new metal band, Factory 81, I went back and listened to their album. It's called Mankind. It's not great,
Yeah.
but
I'm not familiar with
there's
it.
a couple songs on there that I like, and it's all right. And I saw them live once. I was like, yeah, this band sucks. After seeing them live, I was like, you are terrible.
I've been jamming that Deception, the band from Norway. Their album, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, Dainekta. I'm not sure. It's spelled strangely for me. Then Slaughter, killer death metal, endless lust for gore. Yeah, nice. Slaughter, all one word. And then Suicide Angels. Shane was talking about them. I'm not real familiar, but I dig it, man.
Isn't that a porn site?
They've been around for a while. But yeah, those guys are good. Update on 666 Seconds of Metal. Shane and I still doing 2 a week. Last week we did a review of Skeletal Remains, so that video will be up here tomorrow, and then the Decryptor one will be out on Thursday. So lots of good stuff over there on the Metal channel. Been slowly creeping up on the subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, doesn't cost a thing. Just go over there and press the subscribe button. Joey, what about the distro and Goremonger and what's going on? What's the latest and greatest?
Goremonger got a show fucking April 6th, and that's going to be outside Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
With cocaine culture and a la carte. And
you should go to Delphi, dude. You should go to Delphi.
I'm not going that far this time. Next time I come back home, like I said, whenever I used to come back and forth, that was my halfway point. I'd stop there for gas every time.
I'm thinking about taking a trip there. So how far would it be for me?
For you, probably hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2 hours, but no more than 2 hours though.
All right.
So yeah, it's definitely fucking doable for you in the day or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But with the distro though, with the label, I was hoping they'd be here today, but fucking they're probably gonna show up tomorrow. But our fucking hysterical, distasteful, and stupid commercial album, which actually that was something else I was listening to because I had to make a master copy of it to send for the pressings.
Right.
And I was jamming that.
Dude, wasn't that shit hilarious, man?
Yeah, some of them I just fucking forgot all about.
I know.
And it was cool how many of them that CK was actually on.
Right.
So that's sweet.
Yeah, there's a number of them with CK on them. So yeah, that's a special album to have for 45 of our first commercials. Just ridiculous. Very good. The 666 Club, we appreciate you guys that are members. If you're not a Patreon supporter, you can do that, $3 a month. And you get extra stuff. You get the episodes a day early. It's just a cool thing, discounts on merch and all of that. So we appreciate you. And if you're not a member, there's a link down below.
We don't have the time to give you guys extra stuff all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice.
We have jobs, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But I think we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Chris, what the fuck we got to do, man?
Man, let's get our fucking Mayhem on.
Jesus wept.
Spring is just around the corner, friends. Why not surprise your loved one and pick them up on a special date night with a car used by a serial killer? Nothing says love quite like that. We've got a parking lot full of cars that were used in the commission of all sorts of crimes like rape, murder, sodomy, bestiality. It's fucking great. Give us a call today.
I rented Bonnie and Clyde's V8 Ford for the date night with my wife. She was a little freaked out by all the bullet holes, but they made a nice whistling sound as we drove down the highway. They covered up all her screams. God damn, I love that car.
How about renting the car used by the Speed Freak Killers? Or how about the stolen car used by Rod Farrell from the Kentucky Vampire Cult? How fucking whack were those motherfuckers? You can ride in that fucking car across the country, whatever. Or how about getting healthy by taking a ride on the bicycle used by Peter Woodcock, Penis Schlong Prick, or our newest rental, a parachute like DB Cooper used. A fucking parachute. Nothing says romance quite like jumping out in the winter air at 10,000 feet.
Woo-hoo! My girlfriend loved the bloodstained seat of the car Paul John Knowles drove cross country, killing dozens of women and men. There was enough DNA inside that car to father a small motherfucking town. His semen made that leather seats all nice and soft.
Call us today at 800 Serial Killer Car and make sure you mention our friends at Murder Metal Mayhem to score a sweet 10% discount. For the entire month, we'll be giving away a free t-shirt with each Serial Killer Car rental.
Oh my fucking God. Serial killer car rental commercial from last year. That was pretty.
You're a hell of a
pretty
car
damn
salesman,
funny.
Cashman.
Yeah, Cashman does that one, and then we had we had Tex as one caller, and then who was the second caller? Was it you?
I think it was me.
Yeah, I was just so ridiculous. Yeah, and before that, man, Dead Talks. Yeah. Digging those guys, man. That song is called Skinless. Of course, anybody that follows horror movies knows where that sound clip came from.
Yep.
Some fucking
Jesus
Hellraiser.
Wept.
Yeah, so we are in Mayhem, and that means we tell some crazy stories. We got Killer Cage Match here coming up, but Joey, you said you had a good one, and then I got one.
Yeah, I got a pretty classic fucking tale. So I got to tell you guys about this fucking dude that I've met recently.
Oh shit! Been the 419. God.
Oh
damn
man,
it.
he is 419 big time. So. So my buddy Sean from Alien 666, Chris knows him, like he's a good dude and shit. So he's playing bass in this other band. It's a band from back in the day from here in Toledo called Cephalic, and
Sean's playing with Cephalic. Oh, okay.
Cephlic. Cephalic.
Not Cephalic. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I was like,
and
wait,
not,
what?
And not cephalic. But anyway, so Sean's playing with this other dude fucking in this band, and he's telling me about this guitarist that they got. And he was like, yeah, his name's Chuck. He was like, first time he came over to my house, I didn't know if I wanted to let this dude in my house because I thought he was going to fucking steal all my shit, you know what I'm saying? And fucking, he was like kind of crazy, and fucking, he's an alcoholic too, you know, and it's like, okay, this dude's fucking pretty wild, right? But he was like, yeah, he's all right. You know, after like a couple times, he was like, oh no, he's all right. You know what I'm saying? But they were calling him Hardcore Chuck at first, and fucking it was like, no, he's East Side Chuck. Like that's East Side Chuck right there. And fucking Sean's telling me about this dude anyway. Like he's told me about him like probably 3-4 times. You know what I'm saying? Classic stories about how he's fucking like stashing his fucking tall boy. He drinks the tall boys like Chris gets the fucking Bud Ice.
Right?
That's the fucking yeah.
Fuck yeah,
so,
dude.
Yeah, dude, no, you would love this dude. Like next time you come, you got it. Shawback has to meet Eastside Chuck because dude, it's too classic. So anyway, so he's telling me about Eastside Chuck for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a fucking running joke. So 2 weekends ago, I went and saw fucking Alien 666 play, or I played with them too, the Goremonger show, Alien 666, and fucking Ominous from Detroit. But
yeah.
So this dude comes walking in, and he's fucking got like a fucking long leather trench coat on. He's got a fucking bandana wrapped around his head, missing some teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of rough looking, and I mean, I bet you it was 5 seconds. This is while Alien 666 is playing too, so there's a band playing in front of me. I peeped this dude out, and I bet it was 5 seconds. I was like, I know who this motherfucker is. I ain't even got to ask. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he ends up coming over by me. He's talking to me, like during while they're playing, he's saying something about the drummer. I was like, "You're Chuck," and he was like, "Yeah," and he's looking at me like, "How the fuck do you know who I am?" You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
Nice.
And I'm like, "That's
Classic.
fucking Chuck right there." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. When you can describe somebody enough that another person knows, you nailed it. Yeah, for sure.
So at that show, like, nothing too crazy went down with Eastside Chuck. It's just, I met him, figured out he was pretty drunk. He was like, "Yeah, I'm walking distance from this place, so it's all good." I'm like, "All right," you know what I'm saying? All right, so now fast forward to this last weekend, and I played I went to this other show with Necessary Death, and all these bands were playing at Frankie's. So Eastside Chuck shows up to this place.
Oh no!
Now he comes up, and I'm like talking to Necessary Death dudes, and this is before they were playing. We were just chilling. So he comes up and he starts talking to me. He's like, "Yeah," and he's introducing himself and shit. And he comes around to me and he's like, "Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, we met last weekend." You know what I'm saying? Like, dude had no recollection whatsoever. And I even played last weekend. You know what I'm saying? But
does he call himself Eastside Chuck, or that's just
yeah? Let me clarify, because they were calling him Hardcore Chuck. And then Sean's like, "No, we gotta call him Eastside Chuck." And then fucking they all agreed on that. And Eastside Chuck was like, "Hell yeah, I'm Eastside Chuck," so he was down with it.
Okay.
But
I'll embrace that.
Yeah, but so anyway, so this time I meet Eastside Chuck again for the second time. Now I know who he is. He's meeting me again for the first time. You know what I'm saying? He's he's trash. Like, this dude's an alcoholic. Like, he's an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Saturday night, he's at a show, he's drunk, you know what I'm saying? And fucking, so Sean's there, fucking, we're all fucking hanging out, having, it's a good time, fucking, he's pretty, I wanted to get a picture with him, you know what I'm saying, so I could post it up and so I could show Stephanie. But it was just always so awkward, I couldn't figure out a right time. But
right.
Anyway, so he's getting drunk, you know what I'm saying? He's like asking the kids in the pit, like, "Are y'all about to start kicking?" And they're like, "Yup." And he's like, "All right, I'm going over here." And fucking,
I ain't want to be about that.
Yeah. But he was having a good time, you know what I'm saying? So by the end of all this and shit, and by this point, he's like talking to me a little more regular and shit. And like, maybe he'll remember me the third time when I meet him again. We'll see. But at the end of the night, like, I'm like, oh, he probably dipped out and left, because he's also 6 blocks from this venue. He was 6 blocks from the other, so he's like, fucking, I don't know where he's at, but he's like,
bouncing.
But he goes, he's like, "Yeah, man, fucking." I was like, "Man, is Eastside Chuck just disappeared?" You know what I'm saying? He fucking couldn't handle it. Fucking couldn't make it to the last band. And nope, right. Sure enough, he'll come strolling into the middle of the pit and shit, just walking through. I was like, hell yeah. So by the end of the night, like, I had to work the next day, but not real early, like Sunday. I had to work. So I'm like, well, after the show's over, I'm fucking getting the fuck out. The last band started at like 10:30, so it was kind of cool. It was like an early night. I had two shows that were early nights, and for my old man ass, it was pretty dope, Right. But so I'm like, as soon as fucking Dissection fucking finished, or not
done.
Dissection. Yeah, I'm fucking stupid. Fucking who the hell? Dissected. Not Dissection. Well, as soon as Dissected fucking played, like, I was ready to fucking bounce. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. Sean fucking catches me, and he was like, "Hey, man, do you think you could give Eastside Chuck a ride back to his house?"
Out of here.
And I was like, I came by myself, you know what I'm saying? I got an SUV. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I can take Eastside Chuck home, that's all good. Fucking,
I'm hired,
this dude is so fucking wasted. He can't walk out of the venue. He keeps falling into people, falling into the walls. I was like, oh hell man. No. Nation. Now I'm really regretting, like, what's about to happen?
What's gonna happen between him getting in the car and me getting to his house?
So I'm like, I just keep being like, I'm not helping this dude, you know what I'm saying? Because personally, I don't want to touch the guy yet. Like, I don't know him that well enough, and he's kind of fucking too scrubby for me to want to touch this dude. I'm wondering how he's going to be in my car. Like, is it going to reek like shit? Or what's going on?
Puke.
Oh, wait. Let me back up real fast. Something that he told me that's too fucking classic. Eastside Chuck, while he's all fucking drunk, is like, yeah, bro. He goes, when he's telling me where he lives, he's like 6 blocks. He's like, I just stay in my grandma's or my mom's garage.
Yes.
During the warm hour, right? It's total nation. During the warm hour, the warm months, and then every winter I find a girlfriend and live with her, so that I'm not freezing. I've got me about 4 or 5 good months to find me a girlfriend. And he's telling me, I'm just like, Jesus Christ,
dude.
Yeah. So okay. So
What
now
a prize.
I'm taking him out of Frankie's. This dude's falling all the way out the goddamn place. I'm not helping him, but I'm like, come on, you know what I'm saying? We're leaving. It's cool. Like, we get outside. He fucking falls into the building, falls onto the sidewalk. Fucking, I just keep walking. Like, go open my fucking car is like parked in front of the goddamn venue, like 5 cars down.
Yeah.
It's not far. Like,
Yeah, it's right there.
It's pretty perfect and ideal for him. So he falls into the fucking buildings as he's fucking walking. I get to my car and I unlock my side. I get in my car and start it and sit there and watch him proceed to come over and fucking get into my car. He goes past the passenger door and proceeds to fall face first into the concrete. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. He's bleeding from this one. Now he's got some blood coming out, but he's like, oh, I'm all good, bro. I'm still at this point, like, I'm like, God damn it, what is going to happen? You know?
Get the fuck out of here, man.
He gets in the vehicle, and actually he like, it was only like 5 blocks, because you know how it is. Some people are like, oh, it's only a few blocks away. It's like, goddamn,
and it's fucking 3
away.
miles.
Yeah. But it really was, it was pretty fucking close, so it wasn't that bad. But so he's like, yeah, just pull up on this corner over here, drop me on. I pull up at the fucking corner of this 4-way. He opens the door, goes to get out, and fucking face plants it into the grass on the side of the fucking thing. He looks at me with his missing teeth and shit, just laughing, blood coming out of his head, and he's like, I got it. And he pushes the door closed from a sitting position and just laughing. I was like, all right, and I fucking came home. That was
right?
Now I know Eastside Chuck, so I might have some more stories about this dude.
That is
that's
fucking
classic.
so fucking good.
That's excellent.
I love it, bro.
He might need to work his way into the ring, I'm thinking, Joe.
God damn.
Eastside.
And if he ends up becoming a listener of the podcast and you hear this, I know you ain't even mad about it because you fucking rep that shit.
No, I rep that shit all day,
awesome.
Eastside Chuck. God,
that's awesome. So I was at a birthday get together at my son's place for my daughter's birthday, which was a couple weeks ago. But she was in Colorado. She went to the Shining Museum. It was really badass. She was showing me some pictures and stuff. Got to get in the bathtub and and all that kind of stuff.
That's scary.
The bathroom scene with Lloyd. There's that set up, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, so we did this birthday thing, and so it was just the adults out in the garage sitting around the table, and my daughter starts telling this story about how she was sick or something, and she was like so sick, she was like coughing, couldn't stop coughing, and this and that. She was in bed, and she's talking about shitting her pants, and I'm like, really? Like, what the fuck? Like, thanks for sharing, that bit of information.
Hey,
could have lived my life without knowing that.
Anybody sitting here on this fucking screen right now can raise their hand and say they have never shit their pants. You're a liar.
I'm not saying that you haven't. I'm just saying, like, in a conversation around the table at a family. Right. But it was just funny. So we were laughing. Then I was like, wait a minute. And I was looking at her boyfriend. I'm like, don't you have some kind of fucked up shit story? So he was talking about, and he had forgot. I don't know how the hell you would forget about this, but he forgot about this, and said that he was out in the woods like camping with a few friends, and they all took mushrooms, and he said he ate way too many of them, and he was like so fucked up, he was like losing his mind, and he like thought like shit was gonna get him in the tent, and he was like freaking out all night long. And then he said he woke up and he was like, the sleeping bag was like zipped like all the way up as high as it could go, and he just smelled the overwhelming stench of shit.
Nice.
And he shit himself inside the sleeping bag. And I was just like, how the fuck, what the hell's wrong with you two? Like, you're in your fucking 30s. Like, you're not 90, you know, like
drugs are a hell of a drug.
But it was just pretty funny. So I was like, so what did you do with the sleeping bag? You know, like, did you attempt to like wash this thing or what? And he's like, no, I just hung it over a tree branch and just left it there. He didn't know what else to do
at
with
least
it.
throw in a dumpster, man. But yeah.
I know. I thought that was pretty nasty. But so anyway, if there's somebody out there that found a shitty sleeping bag in the state of Illinois, it could be this dude's shitty sleeping bag. So that's all I got. And I did see the kid next door. He was not walking the dog. He's safe. He was with his grandmother, it looked like. So appears to be safe. And I think he's in Robbie's class.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, because Robbie referred to him by name and he pointed toward the house. But, you know, little kids, you don't know the direction. But I'm assuming it's him because he's the only little kid like Robbie's age that
be at the school and shit.
Yeah, that would be about that age. So yeah, so you know, we'll keep tabs on him. Hopefully the dog doesn't start dragging him away. But the 666 Seconds of Murder series continues to do really well, cranking out 4 of them a week. I did that interview with Jeff from Scorpion Lair Games that came out last week. And there's a new episode of True Crime Deep Cuts that comes out Friday, the day after this episode comes out. So go to the YouTube channel. A lot of shit going on there. Going to do another live on Monday with A.R. Hayes. And then I'm going to start doing lives myself on our own channel on Sunday, either late afternoon or early evening. So keep you guys posted on that. But we got a killer cage match to get to, guys. And we hear that crowd kind of getting all fired up. And we got 100 killers that we've come up with, 100 objects for them to fight with, a variable in the cage, and a song playing while they kill each other. And we got some listeners to say thanks again to, Chris.
Once again, we have the trio. We got Colin 815 Posse Rogers.
You know it.
We got Mr. Ray Mac Daddy Mac Falls.
The one and only.
And we have the Queen herself.
Yes.
Peggy 419 Sue. Come get it. What?
Oh, yeah. Those 3 always there. And we got a good one tonight in the cage, Joey. This is like the battle of the mullets, man.
Yeah. Kentucky Vampire Rod Farrell going up against Sick Ripper.
Oh, boy.
Owl.
Hell yeah. Connecticut.
What do we got them? Yeah. What do we got them fighting with, though?
Yeah, they got a couple of objects, Chris. What are we fighting with tonight?
Tonight they'll have themselves just a flathead screwdriver.
Kind of classic.
I don't know what the size of this flat, because I have multiple sizes.
I'd say like a normal, like a household, you know, not some crazy long one.
All right. So just a regular old flathead screwdriver. Right. And then they have themselves a large leather-bound Bible, the Book of the Lord, my children.
Which is interesting with this variable.
Yeah.
So we've had the large leather-bound Bible before as an object. And Joey, what's that variable tonight? Holy shit.
It's Everett LeBaron, the Mormon Manson.
Nice.
And after delivering a wild, firing, brimstone song.
Nice. The episode we did when we did our month of cults, the Church of the Lamb of God, very brutal. And the song playing, Balls to the Wall by Accept, one of my favorites. Love that bass sound and bass line in that song. So we got a good one tonight, guys. Rod Farrell and Sick Ripper, William Devin Howell. They're fighting with a flathead screwdriver and a large leather-bound Bible. And we got Everett LeBaron, all sweaty and fired up after doing a sermon. And Balls to the Fucking Wall is jamming out on that 666,000 watt stereo,
fucking
Chris.
Right. We'll see how far I get with this one. So, tonight, fucking Balls to the Wall is just jamming out. But this is like in the middle of a goddamn McDonald's fucking parking lot. Because, like, goddamn, Devin Devin Howell, the sick ripper, he's just in the fucking
Oh, he
lot
wanted
eating,
it in the McDonald's.
Yeah, he's eating, no, he's just eating burgers.
Okay.
Fucking, so like, he's got to, he saw that flathead screwdriver. He's like, oh, I got to fix my fucking goddamn radiator hose. You got to have a flathead screwdriver, or you have to have a headset socket. That's the only way you can fix a radiator hose clamp. You can't use a Phillips, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, so they're in the fucking goddamn McDonald's parking lot, fucking goddamn sick rippers, fucking working on his car, eating a goddamn cheeseburger. So, here comes motherfucking goddamn LeBron. And he comes rolling up.
There's a McDonald's drive-thru in the cage?
Yes, 100%.
He said LeBron.
Yeah.
I did say LeBron.
Oh,
I don't give a shit. Let me tell my story. It's not in the cage. It's on the side of the cage.
Oh,
Fuck you
okay.
guys.
I'm just trying to get my bearings.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah, I
trying to
am too, sir. God damn it. Now I fucking lost all track. The sick ripper is fucking eating McDonald's at the fucking drive-thru in the parking lot with a screwdriver. It's not even in the fucking goddamn octagon or the cage already yet. He just has it. He's like, oh fuck, I gotta get this fight. Fucking goddamn LeBron, motherfucking Warren Manson. He's looking at goddamn motherfucking Farrell. He's like, this dude needs Jesus. And he grabs that fucking Bible, he smashes him across the face with it. He's like, you know I'm a vampire, right? You need to have a cross. He's like, oh, well, I'm a priest. I have a cross. So he comes at him with the cross. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I give up. Fuck you guys. You broke me again.
Okay, I was enthralled with it. I was dying to know.
No.
Okay, all right.
I'm giving it a fucking goddamn. I'm giving it fucking LeBron because he's got the Bible. He's smashing motherfuckers with the leather-bound Bible.
Okay.
Oh,
All
God
right.
damn it! I lost all train of thought again.
Joey, what do you got here, dude?
I need to write this shit down. I need to look at it early. I like trying to do it, but I need to look at it earlier and write down my thoughts instead of like, nope.
Now,
What you got,
What do you got,
Cashman?
Joey?
with balls to the wall cranking on our system, all three of our contestants, fucking Sick Ripper and goddamn it Farrell and motherfucking the Mormon Manson, they're all dressed like Udo Dirkschneider in the
Nice.
balls to the wall fucking
Yes,
video.
the video, yes.
And they're all dressed just like that motherfucker. And they're in there just looking fucking crazy as hell. So first off, fucking the Mormon Manson, this motherfucker, he ain't got fucking no fucking standing in this fucking place. Because Rob Farrell says, fuck you, I see you eyeing that Bible, you goddamn pussy motherfucker. I can't beat up Sick Ripper over there. That motherfucker's gonna beat my ass. But I can fucking bite the fuck out of your neck and drink your blood, you fucking pussy.
Oh,
so
shit.
he goes over, Mormon Manson fucking just straight fucking attacking his neck, ripping that shit open, getting the blood. Sick Ripper's like, Sick Ripper, you ain't seen me for a while. He's like, the way they get me in the ring would get crazy. Now, first off, Sick Ripper, just like Chris was saying, he sees that flathead screwdriver. He's like, fuck, man. I lost the keys to my goddamn murder machine, so I need to get that screwdriver so I can cram it in that ignition and fucking use it as my key for a while, because back then you could do that shit. So he takes the screwdriver, he fucking hawks a huge ass loogie and spits it on the screwdriver, then shoves it up his own ass. So he's got it for later, because he does not want to fucking get that shit taken from him, man. So he's like, Sick Ripper with the thing in my ass. Now I'm about to show y'all what's up. And fucking, you think he's just going to go over and start fucking pummeling on fucking Rod Farrell because, you know, he wants to get the goddamn fucking McDonald's. He's trying to get out of there and get this McDonald's. But instead, he lets fucking Farrell continue to suck on the blood of this dude's cock over in the corner. Mormon Manson's dick and balls are being consumed by fucking Farrell, the fucking fairy. He's like, Jesus, this is the craziest thing I've ever done because I'm so gothic and dark. I'm over here drinking the blood.
He's a 400-year-old vampire, isn't he?
Dude, all dressed like Udo Dirkschneider, balls to the wall for real.
Yeah.
Now, Sick Ripper, like I said, you thought he was going to go over and just start pummeling this fucking little dude, and he doesn't. Instead, he goes and grabs that Bible, and he fucking pulls out all this badass weed that he got back in Connecticut he was growing in his fucking in his basement. Yeah. And he starts rolling up Bible pages of this shit and just fucking doinks, big doinks of fucking the biggest fucking weed joints ever in the fucking cage, just puffing and puffing.
Oh,
and before you know it, he's created this insane smoke screen. And Rod Farrell's like, but my gothic side tells me I should be able to get through this and that I should be able to live through this, but I'm scared and I'm shaking like a little pussy. And before you know it, fucking Sick Ripper goes coming through the goddamn smoke. And he fucking takes that screwdriver out his ass because now he feels safe with the smoke all around him that nobody can see it and steal it. And he starts stabbing the fuck out of Farrell fucking quick, real fast, Sick Ripper style. Fucking grabs the fucking screwdriver out, sticks it back in his ass with the blood of Farrell because he still needs a goddamn screwdriver for his ignition to go back home to Connecticut to eat the goddamn McDonald's. Sick Ripper for the win.
Nice. Sick fucking Ripper. Gotta love some Sick Ripper.
Sick Ripper was
Hadn't heard from Sick
winner.
Ripper since the Battle of the Bayou, man. That was crazy, man. So
love it, bro. I love these
cool
stories, bro.
Yeah, definitely good stuff. My last book, Creation of Chaos 4, is available on my website. I've got a couple of appearances coming up. I'm going to be in Pekin in the beginning of May. As we get closer, I'll give you the date. And then the Tomes of Terror that they did at the Red Raccoon Games in Bloomington was a big success, and we're doing it again on October 26th. So that's obviously quite a ways off, but I'll keep you guys posted for anybody in the area that wants to come out and check it out. We got my booth, and I'll have Murder Metal Mayhem stuff there too. So, all right. Well, I think we've done plenty of mayhem tonight, guys. So let's hit that fucking outro.
And my dog came up and started licking my balls. And then right as I came, it stuck its tongue up my ass.
It's not for all taste. Something gets filthy, but addicted friendly. The stick is the shit.
Fuck yeah, man. Joey? Who was that, man?
What the hell are we fucking...
Motherfucking Gabe?
Gabe, yeah. I was like, what the hell are you just jamming?
Yeah,
sorry, I was doing you caught me in a spot. I was doing other
I didn't mean to do
that. You good, you good.
You can't hear the playback, so you didn't even know. So sorry, Joey. Yeah. That was Gabe, Rim Job Romance.
Rim Job Romance.
That's right. And we had to play that one. These guys being from Tasmania, and Rick's a huge supporter of what we're doing, so we appreciate it, Rick, and hope everything's good. Thanks again to Mick and Tex for helping out with this episode and the murder segment. Yeah. That was awesome. And bumper music tonight, Joey.
We listened to Dead Talks and Malice's Wake, and who the fuck was the other band?
I don't know.
Oh, Gabe.
I don't even remember what just played.
He's going to throw some Vegemite at you the next time he sees you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Tonight
we had metal,
intro,
as always, do. We have fucking the Great Metal Motherfucker by motherfucking Chrysix.
That's
Fuck
right.
yeah. Thank you, Chrysix, for letting us use your song to fucking commemorate our fucking brother.
That's right. And the Murder Metal Mayhem intro is Crawl Space by Low 12. Thanks to all you guys listening out there, the YouTube people watching. We keep seeing the numbers coming in and appreciate it very much. And so, Chris, what about the first one there?
The first one we got here is just simply Jane.
Yeah.
That's it, Jane. All right, Jane, what's up? She commented on YouTube on the fucking Courtney Gordon murder segment. She said this dude should have been in a secure unit getting help. The system or family and system failed, obviously.
Yeah, that's a fucked up sad story.
That dude definitely needed help.
Yeah, a lot of people like the murder segment videos I've been putting up there because they're shorter than the full episodes, and they like the true crime stuff. Murder. So that's awesome. How about that second one, Joey?
Rocky Road 69 commented, love what you guys do. I listen in Dallas. I'm originally from Virginia, but I've been following you since you started. Great podcast. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Emma Ray Ritchie comments, hails from the UK. I love Murder Metal Mayhem. And now I see you've got YouTube videos. I just started watching those and love the 666 videos. So,
right on, Emma. Appreciate you
Emma,
so much. You. And then last one we got here is Java Your Butt 666.
That's a good one.
Nice. It says, you dudes are sick as hell, and that's what makes you guys the best around for us metalheads who love hearing about serial killers and shit.
Fuck yeah.
I like
Literally
talking about
tonight,
shit.
Yeah, we've been talking some poop tonight, so glad at Jabba Your Butt. I love that. Jabba Your Butt 666. So there you go. You can pick up one of my books on my website, PeteAltieri.com, and of course you got the MurderMetalMayhem.com website, got our merch on there. And linked all this stuff down in the description. Joey, your distro, anything you wanted to mention here as we close this out?
Just I swear by the time that you guys are hearing this or next time we fucking talk, them CDs will physically be in fucking my hands and then be for real fucking thing. So
yeah, no, that'll
if anybody
be super
wants
cool.
it, the physical copy, hit us up.
Yeah, there won't be many of them, so grab them while they're here. You can like us on Facebook, the group, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channels. We got the Instagram. We've got, I haven't done anything with it, and we've got TikTok, same thing.
And don't do
It's
shit.
hard to do all that stuff, but it would be good for a wider audience, that's for sure. Support the show and join that 666 Club. That's our Patreon, and we appreciate you guys that are members of that. We can't let him go without hearing a karaoke song. I always got to play this one when we do an Australian episode. So crank it up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
I keep one foot in the land down under.
Night.
Trembling at a fried out combi on a hippie trail and full of zombies. Strange lady, she made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. And she said, do you come from the lake down under? Where women glow and men plunder. Get your heel on Dodger. You better run, you better take cover. Yeah. I said, do you speak my language? She just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. And he said, I come from a land down under, where bigger snow and men thunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Lying in a den in Bombay. It's like drawing, not much to say. I said to the man he's trying to tempt me, because I come from the land of plenty. And he said, he come from a land down under, where women glow and men plunder. Can you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover. Living in a land down under, where women glow and men plunder.
Mother, man.